You know, this is a big, heavy, full displacement boat, so it's got a pretty nice motion to it. It's well balanced fore and aft, so pitching is fine, but it is, you know, round bilge like the good heavy displacement boats are. So it's pretty, it has a nice motion in a beam sea, but it is a big motion, and I've always sort of been okay with it. But we've got, you know, grandkids and kids now that travel with us, and one day last summer we were in the Strait of Juan de Fuca and had a beam sea left over from slop the night before against a outgoing tide, so it was lots of motion. And we had my 1-year-old grandson with us, and my daughter was quite concerned about that. He was not loving the motion, and she asked me, "Hey Dad, can you make this stop?" And for a minute I thought that was a ridiculous question, but after a few days went by I thought, I think I can. So I contacted Magnus, and Tim responded directly, as he always does, and we started down the path of installing that equipment on this boat. The boat's name is Libra. It was built by a family-owned shipyard in Holland for the original owner, who was retiring as a tugboat captain in the North Sea, and he wanted to go back to the North Sea. So he had a big, heavy Noordzee Kotter built for him by a nice family that still owns the yard in Holland that built this ship in 1987. So I've been thinking about stabilization for a while, considered the standard protocols that are common for stabilization, but was following the development of rotor stabilization based on the Magnus effect for years, and think that it's clever engineering, conservative of space, conservative of power, yet effective in stabilizing a vessel such as this. So I was attracted to the Magnus effect, the principle of that.
Well, it was a great experience. Yesterday was my first time experiencing it. I was very doubtful before, and we had drawers opening and chairs flying and all these things that I don't really enjoy about boating. But once Bill turned the stabilizers on, instantly it stopped, and I felt kind of like maybe I was just on a smooth airplane ride instead of a bumpy boat ride.
Yeah, the installation project was just a joy all the way through. And how often do you say that out of a boatyard? But between the support from Magnus, remote and in person, and the skill level at Platypus Marine, we just had an excellent installation. And for this boat, being a retrofit was important, placement was important, the space-saving aspect of this technology, the controls, it really made it easy to retrofit. We had up to 3 choices of where to put it, but I wanted to get as much beam involved in the lever action of the rotors as I could. So we wanted to stay to midship where it was wide, and we had a keel cooler interfering with us coming toward the keel, and Platypus had an idea about building the reinforcement outside the boat, which they've done many times for the long sonar tubes in fishing and military vessels. So they convinced me that this would be okay. And there was discussion about drag, but in the end we can determine very little, negligible, can't even put our finger on drag, and with the rotors parked, which is another benefit of this system. The rotors are parked when they're not in use, they're parallel to the hull, they're protected by my bilge keel, and feel very secure. So we had a closet here, which was convenient, but we do have, you know, round bilge, very steep hull, so we had to bring it in a little, but because the system is adaptable, we took the electric motor that drives the worm drive and rotated it from horizontal to vertical, and it fit nicely. Minor intrusion into the companionway, but not enough to give us any trouble. And Platypus, again with the joinery, did a nice job, matches the surroundings, and we're quite pleased with that.